At Total Pharmacy Care, we fill your prescriptions and answer any questions about your medications. No distractions and no long lines. Tell your doctor to send your prescriptions to Total Pharmacy Care. Welcome back to another episode of Unwired Appalachia, the greatest podcast in all of the land. It is season 2, episode 4. Brett Favre. The GOAT in my book.
That one. I like that one.
The GOAT?
Yeah. I mean, my favorite quarterback to watch. How about that? Maybe not the GOAT.
Okay. I can go for that.
Okay.
Some of the throws he made are
probably
pretty iconic.
Absolutely.
You know
But
what I mean?
he's
He's
always
arguably
fun
top
to
5 all time, top 10 all time.
100%.
I'll go for that.
Wants to take a second to say a quick thank you to our sponsors, Bruce Walters. Bruce Walters just updated pricing on all of their new inventory. Check them out at brucewaltersford.net. Great guys. If you're in the market for a new car or a used car, be sure to check out brucewaltersford.net.
Also, we are brought to you by Presbyterian Homes of Cedar Creek and Good Shepherd at Phelps. If you're looking for quality care for loved ones, look no further than Presbyterian Homes of Cedar Creek and Good Shepherd at Phelps. Both facilities treat your loved ones with care and respect. They offer therapy, daily activities, exquisite cuisine, and home-like settings to make your family members feel at home. Call to schedule an appointment today. At Cedar Creek, call Jessica Thacker at 432-8243, and at Good Shepherd, call 456-8725. Caring for your loved ones is what we do best.
And before we get started, make sure to go down, hit the little subscribe button. Check us out on all of the social media platforms, the Twitter, the Facebook, the Instagram, and the YouTube. Throw us a comment, anything you'd like to see us talk about. Maybe see some of the guys that you'd like to see these guys interview out here, local athletes, and we really appreciate it. And jumping right into just a recap from the football weekend. We had, week 4 of high school,
Yep.
3 of college, and 2 of the NFL. I guess not a whole lot of surprises as far as high school goes, and I guess the elephant in the room, obviously, hearts completely ripped out. Yeah. Kentucky, Florida, Randy and I messaged back and forth a little bit during that game, touched on it a little bit, but man, just what a terrible, terrible loss that was.
Yeah, I mean, as a UK fan, I mean, over the years, this happens all the time.
Yeah.
We're so close in these games, and as a program, that would have been a big win. Who knows what that win does for them down the road? What kind of momentum they go on? I'm not saying that the season's over, but that one hurts. That one hurts.
Well, you hate to lose to Florida, number one, and really the turning point was obviously, and we talked about this when we take. The second Felipe Franks goes down, we're like,
backup
I hate
goes
this.
in.
Yeah, I mean, I hate everything about this. I said that.
It's deja vu, man.
It is. But takeaways as far as positives go, I mean, you had to expect Sawyer Smith to throw a couple interceptions. That's a good Florida defense. He looked pretty good, like a guy we can move forward with.
Yeah, he looked sharp. Right?
He made some plays. So
defense looked good for 3 quarters.
And I still love Cavassier Smoke. I still
running game looked good for 3 quarters. I mean, for 3 quarters we looked like a complete team.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it was a tough one. That was a chip shot field goal. It seemed like, but like I told you at the end, I felt like the one time in the game they really needed to be aggressive. They weren't. As soon as we got into field goal range, it seemed like, and still a minute on the clock. Florida still had timeouts. It was just a terrible way to lose the game, and as dejected as I was on Saturday night, and I mean, I was I don't remember taking a UK game that hard in many years.
It's been a while. That one was rough.
I was emotionally invested in that thing, man.
I mean, I think we all were because we were the better team in my book. I don't think there's any questions about who the better team was.
Yeah.
Football, the best team don't always win. I mean, once one thing snowballed, everything followed suit. It was one mistake
and then we had
after another.
Some really dumb penalties, and then
and the targeting call at the end.
Yeah,
I mean,
targeting.
I see we have the sack. I think that was on third down.
Yeah.
We had the sack. The D lineman, I guess the ref has to, I don't know.
He's trying to tackle through the chest.
That was a tough call.
They've got to
man.
do something about that rule because it's too inconcise with what happens.
Well, I mean, I guess I understand it in a way. They're trying to protect players' safety, but man,
That's a football play.
That's just
But
that's a
I-
football.
It's a
play,
football play.
And it should be a case by case.
100%.
Every time it shouldn't be just
Should be
one
individualized.
circumstance.
Right.
Yeah.
It went right with the game, but it's a new day. We're on to Mississippi State. We're playing in Starkville, which, if you don't know, is the worst town in all of the United States. That's a fact. So we hopefully don't get beat by Florida twice. You know what I mean? Hopefully we come back.
Hopefully that stops it because one of the things that me and Wes were talking about Saturday night is we win that game, we got all kinds of momentum now.
Yeah.
We've got a pretty easy schedule in front of us.
Yeah.
Teams we can beat.
Who knows what they can do? I mean, it could be another 10-win season, and it still might be. I mean, not saying that this leads to another, but usually wins like that or losses like that leads to another loss or something bad happening. But who knows? It's going to be a big test to see how they can bounce back.
It'll be huge. I mean, you expect Mark Stoops and the coaching staff to have the team ready to go. Hopefully, be able to put that loss behind them, and at least we feel good about where we're at with the quarter. We had no idea what to expect with Sawyer Smith coming in, taking over for Terry Wilson. At least we can feel good about having a guy back there that we know now we've seen him make some plays against top tier talent.
That makes some really good throws. I agree.
Well, I mean, you just got to see him get settled in,
Yeah.
and you got to hope it's soon.
Well, it's coming this Saturday in Starkville, and that's a hostile environment. So hopefully the Cats rebound. And with that said, we'll jump right into the new segment, Talking Picks. How'd you do last week?
4-8. I did not do well at all.
Is this you went 4-8
He's
too?
in the
right?
bottom.
I think
with
I
me.
went.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done much better than that. I'm not sure exactly what my record was, but it was probably right around there. I haven't seen the new standings yet.
I haven't sent them out. It's my fault. So.
By the way, big high school game this Friday.
Really big. It's one that everybody gets up for every year. It's a fun one. There's two good teams who are so close to each other. Both of them always in the mix for a state championship. Pikeville, Belfry. That's all you have to say.
Yeah, at Belfry, and we know both teams are tough. Belfry still without their starting quarterback, but still doing what Belfry does, winning every week.
Going up to Archbishop Altar last week, falling 14-0, but putting on a good showing against a really, really good Ohio school.
One of the top-ranked teams in the nation, apparently.
A really good school up there, so
All
nothing
right.
to be ashamed of.
So
with
who
that
we
being
got?
said, I went Belfry.
I got Pikeville.
Yeah, man, I went Pikeville too. Coming off of that Pike County Bowl where they just went crazy on
Ballistic.
offense. Now 2 weeks in a row under 15 points, right? They was 12 and
But we've got to caveat that a little bit. Paintsville is a top team
That's
in
fair.
Class A.
Yeah,
Raceland's
that's fair.
another top team in Class A. So it's not like they're playing cupcakes.
And I was going to say, isn't that pretty much just like a testament to Pikeville's defense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, the thing is, and we always talk about Isaac McNamee throwing the ball down the field. These other teams are seeing that he can throw the ball, and they're trying to take away those deep threats and give them some underneath stuff. So it's all about adjustments, and Pikeville will be fine.
And Isaac McNamee's learning still. This is a kid. He's a sophomore in high school. He's still getting comfortable with the position. I'm sure we're going to see.
And I'm sure, just talking to Coach McNamee going into the season, that's one of the things he kind of wanted to kind of address is, the expectations on Isaac right away. I mean, this is his first time starting at the high school level.
Right.
So, he knew there was going to be some growing pains. But, Isaac's played wonderfully, I think. Just been phenomenal.
All right, moving on to game 2 in the high school. We've got Prestonsburg at Floyd Central.
I went Floyd Central on that one.
I also have Floyd Central.
Yeah, that's a clean sweep. I got Floyd Central too.
Prestonsburg is coming off a big win over Powell County last week. Coach Brandon Brewer used to coach Powell County, so that was a big one for him. It probably meant something personally to him, and his kids probably rallied around him. And if P. Berg wins that game, it's Peaburg still. I
Yeah.
mean,
And then jumping right into college football, which has been super entertaining so far. This is the first week where we've got a few big games all at one time.
Big games.
And one right off the bat that's turned into a big game. Utah's red hot. They go to USC, 4.5-point favorite, road favorite. Utah is.
That's saying something. You
Yeah.
can be the
At
4.5
USC.
at USC, and 2 top 25 teams. With that being said, I went Utah in this game. I mean, I like what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
I think they're in West Coast teams in general. I think they're in the top 2 or 3 out there right
100%.
now.
I took SC in this game. I think I like what I've seen from them so far. Kind of more of a balanced team than what I've seen out of USC in the past couple of years. And plus, I think it's just better for college football if USC's good.
Yeah.
Playing better than expected.
Yeah,
they are.
that's
They
what
are.
I'm saying.
Playing better than expected. I took Utah too. I watched a little bit of the first couple of games of theirs this year. They have a legit chance to, I think, maybe make some noise, maybe try to sneak into that playoff picture.
Yeah, I mean, I think they've got a legit shot if they keep playing the way they do and coming up with big wins. I mean,
And then just another one right after that, Michigan going to Wisconsin. In my opinion, so far, Michigan not looked real impressive yet. I know there were huge expectations with Jim Harbaugh again this year. Shea Patterson, second-year starter, coming back at quarterback. People expected big things out of Michigan this year. They go to Wisconsin. Wisconsin 3-point favorites. Listen, well, go ahead. Who you got?
I got Wisconsin. I mean, Michigan, I don't know. I've not seen anything wonderful out of them. I think Wisconsin at home, that's a tough place to play.
Yeah.
Anytime you got to go Wisconsin, I'm taking Wisconsin at home.
I've got a lot of faith in Jim Harbaugh. I think Michigan actually starts getting it rolling this week. I think it's going to be good for them to play Wisconsin.
That just gives. Why do you got a lot of confidence in Jim Harbaugh? Like right now, just
Well,
saying. I mean,
listen,
what's he
he's
done
under
so
the
far?
gun now or never,
man,
kind of.
It's do or die for him. This could possibly be his last year at Michigan. If
Exactly.
he doesn't do something this year, he's probably already on the hot seat.
He has to be up there.
I took Wisconsin in this game. I think not only is Wisconsin going to cover that spread, I think Wisconsin may win big in this one. Their defense is really good. Running game, they're going to run Michigan absolutely off the field, I think, Saturday. And it's do or die time for Jim Harbaugh. He gets beat on the road at Wisconsin. If he doesn't beat Ohio State, if he goes undefeated this year, he may not have a job at Michigan next year. And we'll see what happens. But Wisconsin 3-point favorites. I feel like you could. I'd take Wisconsin if they were 8-point favorites.
I probably would too.
I just gotta hope that it comes full circle for Michigan, man. I want Michigan to be pretty good, just for, like I said, college football is good when USC's good. Would like Michigan to be good, just because.
All right, maybe the biggest game in the SEC: Auburn at Texas A&M. Texas A&M 4-point favorites. Texas A&M been a little bit disappointing, you could say, this year, but playing Auburn at home, Texas A&M, another tough place to play.
I went Texas A&M at home. I think they get up for it. I really like that. Josh,
I've got A&M, definitely. I think they're to me they're the clear favorite just because of, I think their defense is pretty good. Seen a lot out of their running game.
Kellen Mond's
Kellen Mond
underrated quarterback, arguably.
Yeah.
I took Auburn. Picked Auburn game 1 against Oregon. They did not let me down, so I'm going to roll with Auburn against Texas A&M too. And then I've told you before, I'm kind of a closet Notre Dame fan. Going into Georgia, 14-point favorite. Georgia Bulldogs over the Notre Dame Mighty Fighting Irish.
2 top 10 teams. For 2 top 10 teams, that's a
Double digits, yeah.
That's a big spread. With that being said, I picked Georgia. I don't know if they cover that, but I picked Georgia to win it.
I've got Georgia in this game as well. I think DeAndre Swift's going to have another big week. I don't see anybody really standing in Georgia's way
like
other
that
than Georgia.
team. Yeah.
Well, after what I just said about Notre Dame, I also picked Georgia. They're just too good.
Yeah.
I think they're going to win the SEC. It's going to be them or LSU wins the SEC.
Too big, too fast, too strong.
And Notre Dame is much like Kentucky, which I'm nowhere near. I'm just like a closeted Notre Dame fan. They also let you down. Trust me. When you think Notre Dame gets in these big games historically against SEC school, they get smoked.
Smoked.
So I think you'll see that talent for Georgia just come out, and I would probably take Georgia to cover this game. And then the game we talked a little bit about earlier, Kentucky with a chance to rebound on the road in Stark Vegas with those freaking cowbells going off over the place. Mississippi State.
And I'll be rooting for UK, but I picked Mississippi State just because who knows? I
respect it.
If I pick UK, they usually lose. So let's try to pick against them, see if they win.
I got UK in this one, man. We've pretty well handled Mississippi State in the recent years that we played them. I think that it just continues. Hopefully, I thought we were going to win that Florida game, even though I picked Florida. But
have we been favored in a game we played? Well, I guess we were against Eastern Michigan in the first two games.
Yeah, the first two games.
7-point dogs on the road against Mississippi State. I took Kentucky in this one. I picked against them last week. I guess that was right. They did cover, however, though. So I was happy to see the cover. Would have rather got a win. But I look for them to rebound this week against Mississippi State. And just, again, Starkville, Mississippi, the worst city in the United States. That's a fact. And now into week 3 of the NFL with red-hot Baltimore Ravens going to Kansas City. Big AFC showdown.
Big AFC showdown.
Early season. Kansas City 6.5-point favorites.
And I like Kansas City, and I know Josh is a Baltimore fan, but I just don't see Baltimore beating Kansas City. I mean, I know Lamar Jackson's playing great, but I don't look for it to last.
I think Lamar is balling out the gym right now, but it's going to be, can he keep it up throughout the rest of the season?
And
is
not
our
get
running
killed,
game going to hold out? Because I've loved what I've seen from Mark Ingram, loved even more what I've seen from Earl Thomas.
And you got to love Mark Andrews as a tight end right
and
now.
I've heard that Baltimore thinks that he might end up being better than Todd Heap was for them.
On my bench the last 2 weeks in fantasy football.
Wow, you need to get him. That is his weapon.
Yeah. So you got Baltimore.
I got Baltimore in this. Yeah, I got Baltimore.
I took Kansas City in this. Kansas City's just an absolute juggernaut of a football team right now. They got to lose at some point. I don't expect them to go undefeated.
They'll probably lose 2 or 3 games this year.
I don't see Baltimore going in there. I think at some point they're going to get enough film on Lamar Jackson. Somebody's going to either slow him down or he's going to take off one of these times and just his legs are just going to come completely apart from his body. That's what happens in the NFL.
That's what happens when you run a lot.
And your name's not Cam Newton, and he stays hurt. Yeah. So, and then moving on, Denver at the Green Bay Packers. Packers 8-point favorites at home. The Packers playing pretty good football right now.
The defense looks really good.
Is real
the offense looked better this past week.
Well, to start out, and then they kind of went anemic after the first quarter. With that being said, I went Green Bay because I do not like that Denver team at all.
Yeah.
I don't like Denver at all either. I think we were talking about it earlier. They don't have it. They ain't got enough. Green Bay, their defense is a lot better than last year. Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. They're going to figure it out. They'll be a good playoff team probably. I took Green Bay in this one.
Yeah, I took the Packers too. Joe Flacco's the worst quarterback in the NFL.
Easily.
That makes me happy to hear.
I was so happy when Baltimore got ready.
Corey says no. He's pretty close to the worst quarterback.
I know
in the NFL.
who Corey's going to say, and he plays for the Cincinnati Bengals. That's what Corey's going to say.
You know what? No. I don't disagree. I take that back. He's the second worst quarterback in the NFL.
I just know what Corey's thinking.
The Red Rifle, probably the worst, or at least my least the Red Rifle. And by the way, it doesn't even have a rifle, so that's the most non-earned nickname of all time.
Well, he's got 2. It's the Red Rocket or the Red Rifle.
Yeah, it was a Red Rocket.
Yeah, but either way.
I feel like red. Well, anyway.
Either way.
We're going to go into the New Orleans Saints without Drew Brees, more than likely. Drew Brees hurt yesterday.
Who knows how long he's going to be out?
He's probably out like 6 to 8 weeks. I think.
At Seattle. Seattle 4.5-point favorites. And Drew Brees, by the way, hits his thumb on Aaron Donald's hand and breaks his thumb.
Dude, that's so sad.
Aaron Donald. Does that say more about Aaron Donald just being
just a complete big mass of a human being? Yes, I believe so. With that said, I went Seattle, played them pretty well early on. They still got the 12th man, tough place to play. Bridgewater is a good backup in New Orleans, but I still like Seattle.
Yeah, I got Seattle in this one. I just don't think New Orleans is. I mean, without that leader, like Drew Brees, man, you got
any team with a quarterback that important to the offense.
Yeah.
That guy goes down. I know Teddy Bridgewater can play, and he probably will get him a win or two.
Oh, yeah.
But, we talked about when Cincinnati went to Seattle first week of the season, that's as tough a place to play as there is in the NFL. I took Seattle as well. I also look for that line to move quite a bit before Sunday. That will probably go up to Drew Brees out. Yeah, that'll go up quite a bit. And then we got the Houston Texans at the LA Chargers. Chargers 3-point favorites. Chargers not playing great football right now.
No, they're not. And this was a Josh Kessler pick because we all know that Kessler loves the Chargers.
Yeah.
And even when I sent the picks out, I put San Diego in there just for a dig at Kessler. And he's not here with us today, so
we'll get him next week.
With that being said, I still pick the Chargers.
I also got the Chargers. I think Austin Eckler is really playing lights out for them right now.
Playing really well.
Melvin Gordon, who?
Well, it's Groundhog Day, like the Le'Veon Bell situation last year.
Might have played yourself out of a job.
He definitely played himself. I mean, he'll probably end up doing the same thing.
He'll get another job.
He'll get another job, but he may not play this year.
And he may not get the contract he wants either.
Yeah.
Just like Bell didn't get the one he wanted.
That's true. And Eckler has been playing well. It's at LA, which is zero home field advantage.
None. That's the least home field advantage in the NFL.
I took Houston in this game. I love Deshaun. I love that offense. We'll see what Houston's defense can do.
Pulled out a tough win yesterday.
Yeah, 2-0.
Pulled out a tough one. At the end, Deshaun Watson has to rush into the end zone against Jacksonville and pull it out.
Man, he's got ice in his veins.
Well, that's another guy that I'm just worried is going to get killed at some point. He takes some shots, man. I mean, he does not. He's not a slide guy. If he sees the end zone, he goes in head first. So we'll see what happens. I have Houston in this game. And then the unbelievable Cincinnati Bengals going to Buffalo. Buffalo are 6-point favorites over the Cincinnati Bengals this week.
After yesterday, how they're not a 20-point favorite or a 30-point favorite
That's true.
Is beyond me. That was disappointing yesterday.
Yep.
Our defense cannot tackle anybody. It was pretty embarrassing after the good showing the first week. I had high expectations.
Me too.
But I'm a trooper, so I stuck with Cincinnati to win this game.
I also picked Cincinnati to win this game. I think they can pull this one out. Like if they're going to pull one out, it could be Buffalo.
I want to believe that. Buffalo's sneaky playing pretty good right now.
Playing very well.
Josh Allen's played some good football so far, second-year quarterback.
Probably since the last 8 weeks, if you count the first 2 weeks this season on his last season, he's probably arguably a top 5 quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing some good football.
I could get behind that.
Cincinnati getting smoked by the 49ers at home.
At home. They didn't even look interested.
No, I mean...
Left points on the board, missed field goals, bad tackling, just mistake after mistake. I mean, it was hard to watch.
Yeah, it was tough to watch. And, after all, we all just said all that, everybody at this table has taken the Cincinnati Bengals because I took them to this week. I hope they at least cover. I think they cover.
I mean, they better if they wanted to do anything this season.
Yeah. But who knows?
We need something positive.
They may go to Buffalo and get 50 hung on them. I mean, if San Francisco do, why not?
If they play like that,
yeah,
they
but
did
San
yesterday.
Francisco, aren't they like a little bit healthier now? Like, don't they have?
They got Garoppolo back.
I wouldn't say that they have a much better roster than the Bills.
No,
I take maybe Josh Allen over Garoppolo right now.
Maybe. I mean, who knows? I mean, it's a close call.
Yeah. So we'll see. 6-point favorites, Buffalo Bills. God, I can't. That's hard to say. 6-point favorites, Buffalo Bills. Cincinnati coming to town. So we'll see what happens with the picks this coming week. And thank you again for joining us for another episode of Unwired Appalachia. We want to say thank you again to our sponsors. Please give us a like, a subscribe, throw us a comment. All of the social medias, the Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, we're out there. These guys are out there at these games, making sure all the local sports get covered. And real quickly before we go, big shout out to friend of the program, Peyton Blackburn, the absolute unit for Shelby Valley. Pick 6.
Pick 6 against North Central. Big 37-6 win for Shelby Valley. that was the highlight, seeing him. And how cool is it to see a lineman get
it's
a pick
great.
six? I mean, the kid is probably going to go play next level at college, probably somewhere pretty big. And to do something defensively and get in the end zone is just wonderful to say.
Yeah.
And we still want to see if Josh can take him in the 40.
Yeah, that's Josh, either the 40 or the Oklahoma drill. That's going to happen.
God.
We're going to put that on record, so we're going to speak it into existence. But again, huge shout out to Peyton Blackburn. Good job. And congrats to the Shelby Valley Wildcats on a big win this week. And thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next week for another episode of Unwired Appalachia. And I'm not going to do the okay thing again.